looking forward, Donald Trump is no longer president, and we're the first to say he doesn't have any power. And we mean when we say that he doesn't have any direct political power. We don't have to worry about some sort of executive order making it so that same-sex couples have a harder time adopting, like just at the drop of a hat. Stephen Miller's worst ideas on immigration don't immediately become policy anymore. All of these are good things, but it isn't to say that he won't have some sort of power going forward. And I, for one, want to understand what that might look like. And we're finding out in the past couple of days, one idea of what it might look like. That is that President Trump has reportedly floated the possibility of starting a new political party as he prepares to leave the White House amid internal struggles within the Republican Party. The ironic thing, of course, being that the Republican Party, like to the bitter end, was so deferential to him that multiple senators tried to steal the election for him immediately after being evacuated from the building because of the goons he sent in that would have been perfectly happy to kill every one of them. But they didn't successfully overturn it. And so he considers that the ultimate betrayal. And now he's thinking about this. He apparently wants to call it the Patriot Party because he is a very, very clever person. But anyway, Cenk, we know that there's like the potential media road, there's the potential political road. We thought maybe it might come in the form of his children running as Republicans or him running as a Republican in 4 years. A third party, what do you think about that as an option?
I love it. I have been against a third party on the left for a long time. And I've taken a lot of heat from progressives for that. Some progressives. And why? Do I think the Democratic Party is awesome and I want to protect it? Hell no, hell no. But if you have a third party, it is going to split your vote and let fascists win. It's just a fact. Now, it's not a fact in primaries. In primaries, it's totally different. And if you want to make an argument for structural change, like ranked choice voting, I love it. How can I help more? So, and we have featured third parties on the Young Turks in the early and even in the late stages of elections because we're fair and we want you to know all of your options, even if I don't necessarily agree with one of those options. So now I tell you all of that because if you've got a third party coming from the right, I am positive that the Republicans will be screwed. Like if it's anything real, if Trump manages to land it, and that's a big if because he's literally the most incompetent person I have ever seen in public life. So, I mean, if he's putting together a party, he can't put anything together. So there's gonna be no cake, there's gonna be no balloons, there's gonna be no nothing. He's not gonna have planned any of it. Yeah. So I assume that the Steve Bannons of the world will lead the charge and the Stephen Millers. It'll be a party of pure fear and hatred. That means it'll siphon away a ton of Republican voters because that's the core of the Republican Party. Yeah. If they split that vote in a way that is real and effective, then the Republican Party's dead. And a fourth party then becomes interesting because then at that point, you're not automatically handing a win to fascists. So it has a lot of consequences. But John, if it's real, it's the greatest development honestly, one of the greatest developments in American political history.
Yeah, and that's not to say that it couldn't have a lot of really negative consequences. A more pure, unadulterated version of trump-ism might lead to more radicalization, extremism attacks, and things like that. They could have those sorts of consequences, but yeah, based on the fact that our system is set up the way it is in terms of how votes are calculated and how winners are determined, this stands a very real chance, if it's done in a serious fashion, of devastating Republican chances of winning national elections and maybe statewide elections too. Honestly, anywhere where they compete, the Dems will be much more likely to win. That's just a natural consequence of the system. Now, if they wanted to first change to ranked choice or approval voting or something like that, that is a serious way to pursue a third party on the right that could actually succeed. But if you don't want to do that, you want to skip right to the party, then that's the outcome. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.